Hi, I'm Lisa Leady, and I work for the Wall Clipper Corporation. And today we're going to show you how to balance off a face when a client likes to have that long beard. And he's got a little bit of a top knot going, so we're going to do that as well. So first we're just going to kind of brush him through. And I want to do part of his ears. I don't want to shave his ears because they've never really been shaved. So I don't want him to go home and dig them out. But I do want to give him his proper ear tufts. So I'm just going to cut around the edges with my shears. I make sure I hang on to that tip so that I'm not going to hand it back to the client and say, I'm sorry, I lobbed this off. But it's so that I know where that ear tip is. So I want to make sure I scissor it on both sides of the ear. Stop it, Bubba. Good boy. I'm going to do the same to the other side. So nice little V. When you do a Yorkie's ear, even though he's a little bit bigger than your normal size, you want to do about the width of your thumb for the ear tip with a 10 blade. Okay? So we're going to put his hair back up into a little ponytail that he had. Okay. And when you do your top knot, you want to go from the corner of the eye to the corner of the ear. So I kind of get it all into place where I need it. Before I start messing with my rubber band, because you want to try and get it in the center of the head. And I want it to come behind the ear. That's where my other line is. I'll mist it down with my coat, or with a coat spray, so that it's easier to pull up and keep it a little bit straighter. So see, I already kind of have it all parted over so I can get it. He actually looks like he's got horns going. I measure from ear to ear, and I start to pick up that hair. Okay, you got to make sure that when you do this, though, you don't have any of the skin down at the base. If you've ever seen Yorkies that come back into your shop and they have a bald spot, it means that somebody has caught a piece of that skin inside that rubber band and it's killed off the hair follicles and the hair has fallen out. So make sure you don't have that in there. Listen, Scooby. Stay. No, kissing me is not going to save you. Don't shake your head. Okay. Come to the information booth. Have it come down just a little bit. You don't want the whites of his eyes poking out at you. You don't want to pull it too tight. Take a small band. I always do 2 bands. One, because the next one will be his bow. Listen, pumpkin. No, stay. Stay. No, stay. Okay. Make sure my band is in straight and nice and tight. Okay, so I have a little ponytail going there. I'm a little off balance, so I'm going to pull it over to one side. Okay, I'm going to take out the corner of his eyes. I don't want to take out his whole stop. I just don't want that hair to poke him in the eyes. So I take that down. Good boy. Good boy. He says I'm a boy, I don't get a bow. It's kind of like a bow tie. It's a bow tie for boys in your head. Okay? Okay. Hi. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. It's easier to kind of put it between your two fingers. Center your bow. And pull it through. I hang on to the front of my bow so it stays in place. If he would stay a little stiller. Again, I do it about 3 times. Don't do it so tight though that if your client decides they don't like the bow in the head, that they're not cutting it. You want to make it so that they can pull it out. Because if they cut it, what are they going to do? They're going to cut it beneath the rubber band, and that's going to look really pretty. And then they'll come into you going, will you fix this? Yeah, no. Not happening. Okay. But now you need to neaten up some of this beard on him. Okay, he looks like, you know, the Cowardly Lion. This is all just going everywhere. Stay, babe. Stay. So I'm going to try and get my grooming loop up. And I don't want to touch his chest hair. But I'm going to start in the front and go from side to side and kind of round it. And notice I'm holding up my grooming loop because it forces him to push his ears forward and hold up his ears so that I can see that nice line from corner of the mouth to the ear. Make sure the back part of my head is parted in the center so it lays how it should. Now that I've cut in some, I can still go back to holding him by his beard and neaten this up under here. Now you could do this with your thinning shears if you'd like. I like a more crisp finish, so I use my shears. This is not a good coat to use your chunkers on. It'll just leave holes. I'll make a noise too to try and get them to bring their ears forward. If you're working in a shop though where everybody's working on heads, don't make the noise. Because then all the dogs turn and look at you and, okay, I need to comb everything down, neaten that up. So that when his head falls, it's still going to kind of blend in to this longer hair down here. You're not going to get a full blend unless you trim it all down, but it's not going to look so straggly towards the back of the throat there. Comb it forward. So this will give you a little bit more balance, and it's still keeping your face long. But my theory is his ponytail is only about this long. So I'm not going to leave his beard super longer because then he's going to look like he's like this. I'm going to bring up my beard to about the same length as the top of his top knot is. You're going to keep that bow in, okay? Okay, and so that's about where we have it. Okay, so that's how I do mine, bringing up to blend in better from a shorter top of the head to a longer beard. Does anybody have any questions? Nope. Thank you, guys.